You're building your future right now, not tomorrow, not when you start that project or make that change. Right now, with the thought you're having this second. And here's what most people don't get. Your thoughts aren't just commentary on your life, they're the construction crew. They're literally building the next version of you, brick by brick. Whether you're paying attention or not, I'm going to show you the science behind this. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. If you want to understand how your mind actually works, hit subscribe. I break down psychology and neuroscience without the fluff. Let's start with your brain, physical organ, 3 pounds of tissue sitting in your skull. Here's what we know from decades of neuroscience research. Your brain changes shape based on what you do with it. This is called neuroplasticity. It's not theory, it's documented fact. When you repeat a thought, your brain creates a neural pathway. Think of it like a trail through a forest. The first time you're pushing through brush. But walk that path every day, and eventually you've got a clear trail. Your feet find it automatically, your thoughts work the same way. The National Institute of Mental Health has extensively documented this. When you repeatedly think certain thoughts, the neural connections that produce those thoughts get stronger. The connections you don't use get weaker. Your brain is physically reshaping itself around your thought patterns. Let me make this concrete. Say you think, I'm not good at this every time you face a challenge. That's not just a thought. You're carving a neural superhighway for that response. After enough repetitions, your brain will automatically travel down that path. You won't even question it anymore. It becomes your default. But here's what this means. If your brain physically changes based on your thoughts, then your thoughts are literally building your brain structure. And your brain structure determines how you perceive the world, what actions you take, and what results you create. Your thoughts decide your brain. Your brain decides your behavior. Your behavior decides your future. This isn't positive thinking nonsense, this is biology. The researchers at the Beck Institute for Cognitive Behavior Therapy have spent decades proving this. Cognitive behavioral therapy works because it changes thought patterns, which changes brain structure, which changes life outcomes. The data is overwhelming. Drop a comment if this is making sense so far. I want to know this is landing. Now let's talk about what you notice. Your brain has a system called the reticular activating system. Let's call it the RAS. It's basically a filter that decides what information reaches your conscious awareness. Here's why this matters. Your RAS filters reality based on what you're focused on, based on what you're thinking about. You've experienced this. You decide you want a red car, and suddenly you see red cars everywhere. They were always there. But now your RAS is filtering for them. You notice them. This applies to everything. If you constantly think people don't respect me, your RAS will scan for evidence of disrespect, and it will find it. Not because the world changed, but because your filter changed. You'll notice every slight, every interruption, every moment someone doesn't acknowledge you. Meanwhile, you'll completely miss moments of respect. They don't pass through your filter. The opposite works too. Focus on opportunities and your RAS starts highlighting them. You notice conversations, connections, possibilities that were invisible before. Think about it this way. 2 people walk through the same day. One thinks this city has no opportunities. The other thinks, I wonder what's possible here. They will literally perceive different realities. Different opportunities will reach their awareness. Your thoughts program your attention. Your attention shapes what you see. What you see determines what actions you take. You're not seeing reality. You're seeing a version of reality filtered through your thoughts. This leads us to something researchers call the self-fulfilling prophecy. In 1968, Rosenthal and Jacobson did a study. They told teachers that certain students were growth spurters who would improve dramatically that year. Those students did improve, significantly more than other students. Here's the thing. The students were chosen randomly. There was nothing special about them. But the teachers' expectations changed how they interacted with those students. More attention, more encouragement, higher standards. And the students responded by meeting those expectations. Your thoughts about yourself work the same way. When you think, I'm not the kind of person who succeeds at this, you unconsciously act in ways that confirm that belief. You don't try as hard. You quit faster. You don't see opportunities. Your brain is trying to keep your reality consistent with your self-concept. Carol Dweck's research at Stanford proved this extensively. People with fixed mindsets who believe their abilities are set perform worse than people with growth mindsets who believe they can improve. Same challenges, different thoughts, different outcomes. Your expectations become instructions. If you expect failure, your brain will guide you toward failure, not because it hates you, because it's trying to be right. Your brain prefers consistency over happiness, but this cuts both ways. Expect growth and your brain starts looking for paths to growth. Expect to find solutions and you'll spot solutions others miss, not because you're smarter, because your filter is different. If this video is shifting how you see your thoughts, do me a favor and hit the like button. It helps this reach people who need it. Let me show you how deep this goes. Studies published in the Journal of Applied Sports Psychology found that athletes who mentally rehearse their performance show measurable improvement, not just feeling better. Actual measurable improvement in execution. Brain scans show why. When you visualize an action, your brain activates many of the same regions as when you perform that action. Mental rehearsal creates neural patterns. You're practicing even when you're just thinking. This means your repeated thoughts are rehearsals. You're training for something, whether you intend to or not. If you repeatedly imagine failing, you're rehearsing failure. If you repeatedly imagine awkward interactions, you're practicing awkwardness. Your brain is learning those patterns. But you can use this deliberately. Athletes visualize perfect execution. They imagine the movement, the success, the feeling, and their actual performance improves. You can do the same with any skill, any interaction, any challenge. This isn't woo, this is applied neuroscience. So what do you do with this information? First, notice your default thoughts. Most people never do this. They let their thoughts run on autopilot. You need to become aware of what you're repeatedly thinking. Spend 3 days just observing. What do you think about challenges? About yourself? About your capabilities? Don't judge it. Just notice. Second, when you catch a thought that's building a future you don't want, interrupt it. Not by forcing positivity, by questioning accuracy. Is this thought factual or is it interpretation? Often, we mistake interpretation for fact. Third, practice replacement. When you notice an unhelpful thought pattern, consciously substitute a more useful one. Not a lie. Something true that serves you better. Instead of, I always mess this up, try, I'm learning this. Both can be accurate. One builds a better future. Fourth, use visualization deliberately. Spend 2 minutes daily imagining yourself handling situations well. Imagine the actions you want to take and the person you want to become. Your brain will treat this as rehearsal. This takes repetition. Remember neuroplasticity. You're carving new trails. It feels unnatural at first. That's normal. Keep walking the path. The research is clear. Consistent practice changes thought patterns, which changes brain structure, which changes behavior, which changes outcomes. Your thoughts are deciding your future right now. Not all of it, but more than you think. More than most people ever realize. You can't control everything that happens, but you can control what you repeatedly think about what happens. And that control is more powerful than most people use. The mechanism is real. The science is clear. Now you know. If this resonated, subscribe. I make videos breaking down psychology and neuroscience you can actually apply, and share this with someone who needs to hear it. Most people are building futures they don't want simply because they don't know this is happening. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.